The most notable case was in 2007, where a 29-year-old man was shot and killed in a bar while singing the song. Witnesses said the shooter complained the man was singing the song so badly and wouldn't stop, he had to stop him. So I guess the only way to stop him was
The only way to
to
stop him
shoot
was
him.
death. Hey,
Yeah,
he
to
did
shoot
it
him. And
his way.
right. I mean, no one ever thought, or this guy never thought, well, I could just literally walk up and take the microphone away from him or go unplug the sound system.
Or
But no, he had to
throw
shoot
a
him.
bottle at him, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like, physically assault him. No, he murdered him.
Before we begin today's episode, we would like to share a quick disclaimer. The views, opinions, and statements expressed by the hosts and guests on this podcast are their own personal views and are provided in their own capacity. All content is editorial, opinion-based, and intended for entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised. Some songs don't haunt you, they hunt you. They slip under your skin, curl around your bones, and hum in your head long after the music stops. And some say they carry something darker, misfortune, tragedy, and even death. Are some songs more than music? Could they be omens? Tonight we're building a playlist of the damned. Welcome to the Black Curtain Club, and on this episode, Kyle and I are going to talk about the songs that have been banned, feared, and whispered about. Songs that have sparked bar fights, cursed their singers, and even whispered messages when played backward, as if the devil himself wrote a verse or two. So with that, hi Kyle, how are you doing?
I can talk now. I am, Jesus, like, when you told me the synopsis of this one, I was like, oh, hell yeah, this sounds great. This sounds awesome. And then you just read that, and I'm just like, tell me all of the fucking everything right now. I am, I wish you could see how on the edge of my seat I actually am. I look like one of those fucking goats in Peru, like those mountain goats that just like chill. I'm like that on my seat right now. I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I know we're heading into spooky season, so I thought, why not close out the month with something a little spooky just to get us in the mood for the next 2 months of spooky.
A little
How's that
spooky.
sound?
A little spooky. Your intro is literally, hey, these songs have fucking killed people. A little spooky.
Yeah.
Jesus. Any Tim Burton movie is a little spooky. Like, even his fun, cute kid ones, those are a little spooky. This is downright terrifying. Proceed.
That's what it's what I'm aiming for. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is probably the most infamous of all the songs that I'm going to talk about. And this is a song that came straight from like a haunted gramophone. This song isn't just sad, it's clinically end of the world sad. Imagine Spotify slapping a warning label on a song saying caution may cause existential crisis. This song is so steeped in despair, it was blamed for a wave of suicides. A song that's less like a melody and more like a funeral dirge in disguise. This is the story of Gloomy Sunday. You ever heard of it?
I thought you were going to say Bad Blood by Taylor Swift.
Well, we don't need the Swifties coming after us. So
I fucking dare you to.
Jesus.
Gloomy Sunday. Go.
You don't understand. That was it was like you just crawled into my head and actually said that. That was so
It wasn't
loud
me. It was
in my
the evil
headphones.
song. I apologize.
Right. It's okay.
I'll do sign language from now on. How about that? Just listen to the going by the headphones. Listen to like the sound, the wind wisps.
Okay. So, Gloomy Sunday is also called the Hungarian Suicide Song. It was written in 1933 by Rezo Seres, a composer whose life isn't exactly a ray of sunshine. So, legend says that this song was so unbearably depressing, it drove listeners to end their own lives. Newspapers in the 1930s blamed dozens of suicides in Hungary on this one song, and people would leave lyrics in their notes. The media reported finding bodies with sheet music on them, or the song would be playing on repeat. Some reports where people played the song and then jumped out of windows. So the original Hungarian lyrics are a little bit more woeful than the English translation version. In this version, the singer mourns the death of a lover and expresses a desire to join them in death. And these are some of the lyrics. Sad Sunday with 100 white flowers, I waited for you, my dear, with a prayer. The church bells are ringing for you. The dream chariot has come for you. Angels have no mercy for me. My eyes will open to see you once more. Then I will die with you. So then,
Jesus.
right? Sam Lewis translated the song into English. He kept the dark tone, but this version ends kind of with a twist. It reveals that the entire scene was just a dream. And fun fact, the BBC even banned Billie Holiday's haunting version of this song during World War II, claiming it was too emotionally heavy for a war-weary audience. Some of the lyrics include, Gloomy Sunday with shadows I spend it all. My heart and I have decided to end it all. Death is no dream, for in death I'm caressing you. With the last breath of my soul, I'll be blessing you. Soon there'll be candles and prayers that are said. Let them not weep. Let them know that I'm glad to go. Little white flower will never awaken you, not where the black coach of sorrow has taken you. And then this is the English ending is dreaming, I was only dreaming. I awake and I find you asleep in the deep of my heart. So that was how they ended it in the English translation.
Sheesh.
So if that's not enough to chill you, Seres himself took his own life in 1968 by jumping from the building. It's like this song absolutely swallowed him too. He once
Mm-hmm.
said that this is a direct quote from him, and he said, I stand in the midst of this deadly success as an accused man. So he never got out from underneath the lore that, his own song created.
Mm-hmm.
This song,
Jesus, man.
though, has taken on a life of its own, even into our modern day. So there are a lot of creepypastas and horror game fan communities that talk about created mods that were playing this song where it triggers ghost events or deadly glitches. For example,
Okay.
there's allegedly one for the Elder Scrolls. It's a
Allegedly.
mod, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mod called Morrowind,
Yep.
and that if you leave it playing on a loop at 3 a.m. while in game, NPCs will die or go insane. According to
Mm-hmm.
the rumor, most NPCs are dead or non-functional. Survivors will stand silently at night saying, "Watch the sky." A spider-like creature called the assassin will stalk you, and standing in one spot will drain your health. And then there are some gloomy Sunday kind of creepy pastas and Reddit forums, such as Reddit No Sleep or Unsolved Mysteries, where the stories claim that people right. People, if I could only do that man's voice, you always knew you were in for a good time when you heard that man's voice.
Oh, yeah.
So the stories claim that people hear whispering or weeping after playing the original vinyl record.
Mm-hmm.
An unreleased version contains a hidden verse that was so disturbing it was destroyed. and some say the song influences dreams and causes vivid nightmares. So this song almost has become treated like some kind of musical cursed object, kind of on par with the Annabelle doll or like the cursed videotape from The Ring.
Mm-hmm.
So none of this is really documented. It's deeply embedded in fan forums, YouTube horror essays, TikTok folklore, etc. But it's still a really interesting thought that this song could be like truly haunted.
Mm-hmm.
So if this hasn't killed the mood yet, how about a song that's literally killed people over karaoke night? You ready for this one?
This has got to be Sweet Caroline, right? It's got to be Sweet Caroline.
It's gotta be.
Sweet,
So
what's it called? Uptown Girl?
no, you have to go further back. It's an older song than either of those. So next I'm going to talk about the My Way murders or the
My
karaoke killings.
My Way? Like My Way, My
My
Way.
Way.
Like
Frank Sinatra's
Sinatra.
My
Listen,
Way. Yep.
Sinatra My
Yep.
Way is haunted.
Yes.
Please.
So we all know Frank Sinatra's My Way is iconic. It's a defiant anthem of living life on your own terms. But in the Philippines, it's not just a song, it's practically a blood curse. So in the in the 1990s and up until 2010, at least a dozen murders have been linked to fights breaking out during karaoke performances of My Way. Most of them start the same way. Somebody sings off key, somebody else takes offense, and the next thing you know, somebody's being carried out in a body bag. The phenomenon got so bad that many karaoke bars banned the song My Way entirely. The most notable case was in 2007, where a 29-year-old man was shot and killed in a bar while singing the song. Witnesses said the shooter complained the man was singing the song so badly and wouldn't stop, he had to stop him. So I guess the only way to stop him was
The only way to
to
stop him
shoot
was
him.
death. Hey,
Yeah,
he
to
did
shoot
it
him and
his way.
right. I mean, no one ever thought, or this guy never thought, well, I could just literally walk up and take the microphone away from him or go unplug the sound system.
Or
But no, he had to
throw
shoot
a
him.
bottle at him for crying out loud. Like
Yeah.
physically
Yeah.
assault him. No, he murdered him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Murdered.
So, I mean, when you think about it, a song was considered so dangerous for public safety that they had to shut it down. It's not just the lyrics, it's the attitude. Sinatra's confidence can apparently get you killed if you don't nail that final, I did it my way, that final, crescendo. Apparently, if you don't get that right, then you get killed in the Philippines.
Listen, I'm probably
So
going to
I
find a
don't.
lot more people in the Philippines on this one when it comes to this song, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Elvis's cover of that was eons better than Sinatra's. Proceed.
Yeah. So, I don't know what is scarier itself, the song or the idea that somebody might stab me over bad karaoke.
I mean, it's not just
Uh,
that song. Someone will probably stab you here in the U.S. over bad karaoke. Also, it's just you're gonna catch strays in the Philippines,
right.
apparently. Jesus.
So, the next thing that I want to take us to is something I know your little tail is going to start wagging at. I think.
People who get drawn and quartered if they start singing Fleetwood Mac wrong.
Right, exactly. So, this is all about the origins of the 27 Club. Do you know the 27 Club?
I do. You know the 27 members of the 27 Club?
I have a list here.
There you
So,
go. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, the 27 Club is rock's strangest legend. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, all dead at 27.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at their final songs or performances, some feel like all of those were like eerie premonitions. But let's talk about the legend that started the 27 Club, and that's the story of Robert Johnson. So Johnson was a struggling musician in the Mississippi Delta in the 1930s. One night, he allegedly went to a crossroads at midnight. The
Allegedly.
legend allegedly. The legend says Highway 49 and 61 at Clarksdale, Mississippi. There he met a mysterious man who tuned his guitar and taught him how to play. And there was a pact made. This man, who some say was the devil, took his soul in exchange for immense talent. After this night, Johnson returned to the show circuits with such astonishing skill that people would literally say he plays so good he must have sold his soul to the devil. In 1938, Robert Johnson would pass away at the age of 27. Now, some unconfirmed theories say that his whiskey was maybe poisoned by a jealous husband, or some reports say that he died of syphilis. But the more popular theory was that this was supernatural retribution. Basically, the devil came back for payment. So some of the people that are in the 27 Club, of course, Robert Johnson, 1938, by mysterious poisoning. We have Brian Jones. In 1969, he was a Rolling Stones guitarist who drowned.
Mm-hmm.
Jimi
Mm-hmm.
Hendrix, 1970, overdose and asphyxiation.
Mm-hmm.
Janis Joplin, 1970, heroin overdose. Jim Morrison, 1971, heart failure, uncertain cause. We have Kurt Cobain in 1994 of suicide. Amy Winehouse in 2011 with alcohol poisoning. So those are just some. I don't have the list of, all 27, but all of these people died at the age of 27 under very tragic or eerie circumstances, contributing to the legend of the 27 Club, as if, their extreme talent came at a supernatural price. Is there really a curse around age 27, or is it just that some artists burn too bright too fast and their music is a mirror of that collapse? Either way, I think the final notes that they leave behind feel like echoes of something they sense coming. So, what do you think about the 27 Club?
I'm so fucking glad you asked. Listen, if there's one, two, I'll even give you three. I'll give you three. If you have three people, three musicians, like you said, that honestly, all of them, when they went at 27, they were in they had the world, as they say, by the short and curlies. I'll give you
Mm-hmm.
3 years apart from another, but the fact that there's so many of them and that they're all the lines they were 27 highlighted their career seems to be just kind of yeah, well, that's what happened. Now, how many were what Cobain was the only one that wasn't a drug overdose, right? It was a
Right.
drug or an alcohol overdose. Everyone else, it was drug or an alcohol overdose, which can be simply chalked up to accidental. They didn't know what they were doing. This mentioned that shit happens all the time. I can give you that one, but there's so many. There's the similarities between all of them, and if I'm not mistaken, don't they all coincide with the white lighter as well?
I think.
Is it all of them or some of them? Because I want to say it was Hendrix, Cobain, Winehouse, and Joplin. I want to say those four were all found. Their bodies all had a white lighter. I don't know if it was specific to the same the same pocket also, but four of them had a white Bic lighter on them when they passed. There's a bunch of musicians that on their person in their pockets there was a white Bic lighter. But the fact that there's so many that are just so similar, there's something there. There's something there, and it's so fucking weird. It's too weird for it to just be a coincidence.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of people, when they talk about the 27 Club, there's always these certain names that get brought up. what I was curious about was where did it start? And it all started with Robert Johnson. Well, to continue, have you ever heard the song Love Roller Coaster by the funk band Ohio Players?
I know the song Roller Coaster of Love. Mm-hmm.
So, this song was recorded in 1975. And shortly after the song's release, rumors began to spread that a
Rumor has it.
real woman's scream is heard in the background of the track. And this was actually a recording of her being murdered, captured live during the song's production.
That's terrifying.
Right? So this myth claims that the scream is real, unedited, and that the woman died during the session. And I will tell you, when I was researching this, I called up there's a specific, so the scream allegedly occurs at 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the track.
Mm-hmm.
And what you hear is a sudden, high pitched female scream, and it stands out. It's not stylized, it's not musical. It does sound like more like a genuine cry of terror. And what makes people uneasy is it doesn't sound performed in the way that the rest of the song that you hear.
Mm-hmm.
So, I definitely and I encourage everyone to pull up that song, pull it up on Spotify or whatever you use, and listen to it. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. There is a scream that you can hear that does not sound like it belongs in the rest of the song. There are some interesting theories and urban legends. Who was the woman and what was the scream about? So you want
Mm-hmm.
to hear a couple of those?
Absolutely.
So there is the Playboy model story. So allegedly, the scream came from Esther Corday or Cordette. I'm not sure how you say your last name.
Mm-hmm.
So she was a Playboy model that was featured actually on the album cover. So the story goes that she was burned during the photo shoot due to honey being put on her skin. So if you see the album cover, she's standing there with honey dripping like into, I think it's like dripping into her mouth or on her head or skin or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they say that she was burned due to the honey on her skin and that she was actually stung multiple times by bees and insects and
Mm-hmm.
that she was actually in utter agony from all of it and stormed into the studio during the recording, screaming in pain. Not necessarily murdered, but some people say that is uh, what the scream came from. We know that she wasn't murdered because she is alive and well today.
Yeah. Okay.
The other theory is that there was a stabbing occurred during the recording.
Shank
So
shank.
legend so apparently, according to this myth, is that a woman was supposedly being stabbed to death in the studio hallway and her scream was caught on the microphone. Now, there's no record or evidence of a murder at or near the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And the band, of course, and the producers have all denied these claims. They said that it was just a raw, strange vocal effect meant to heighten the funk intensity. But here's why people say that it feels haunted because the timing and tone of the scream doesn't match the rest of the track. The mystery was never fully explained at the time, which allowed this myth to grow. Combined with the eerie photo shoot story and the rise of true crime and pulp culture, the song kind of became linked with this haunted aura. So, what do you think about that?
I think that I'm going to sleep with the lights on tonight. Just get out of here with that shit, man.
So, I have one last thing that I want to talk about here at the end, and that's songs with back mask messages. So, probably two of the most famous examples of backmask haunted
Oh
songs are
yeah.
Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven and the
Mm-hmm.
Beatles' Revolution 9.
Yeah.
So, people say that if you play Stairway to Heaven backward, you hear a satanic prayer. My thought is if you listen to any song played backwards, it sounds like you're listening to a demon trying to gargle Listerine. But that's just me. But the Beatles one, it has a little bit more teeth to the legend, and that's the one I particularly want to talk about. So, in the late 1960s, a bizarre rumor started that Paul McCartney had died in a car crash in 1966 and was secretly
Mhm.
replaced by a lookalike named William Campbell. Fans believed the Beatles left clues hidden in their lyrics, album covers, and kind of more creepily, backmasked audio. So, again, these are messages hidden, so you hear them only when you play the song in reverse. In one of their recordings, and this is more of like an avant-garde kind of song that they did called Revolution 9, the infamous Paul is Dead. And there's also a repeated spoken phrase, number nine, number nine. Fans also claim that if you play this part backwards, um, it sounds like Turn Me On, Dead Man. So, yeah, yeah. So, kind of what gives that backmask, Paul is dead, and then again, Turn Me On, Dead Man, some teeth, and the whole Paul is dead and was replaced. There were some other songs that kind of, with lyrics that lend to this mystery. So on this song, I'm So Tired, which was on the White Album,
Mhm.
at the end, John mumbles something that, when reversed, some fans hear as Paul is dead, man. Miss him, miss him, miss him. Strawberry Fields Forever. At the end, John Lennon allegedly says, I buried Paul. Now, John Lennon would later, because they knew all of these claims, he claimed that he actually said cranberry sauce. I don't know. I buried Paul, cranberry sauce. I don't think they. I mean, I
Yeah, but
guess
you gotta
maybe
do it
I'd
with like
have to
their
hear it.
accents, with their accents
I
too.
Yeah, I'd have to hear it maybe, yeah, in that English accent, but you
Yeah,
know,
Paul is dead. Yeah, cranberry sauce. Yeah, I can see it.
and then A Day in the Life contains the line, "He blew his mind out in a car." So this was interpreted as a reference to Paul's supposed fatal car crash. Um,
Hmm.
the thing that gives, I think, this one some teeth is that they never really fully explained or explicitly denied the rumors, especially when it gained traction when it was kind of at its height.
Mm-hmm.
They instead kind of stepped back and let this mystery grow. Now, you know, was that their plan? Just let it grow. This is just giving us more exposure. It's something for the fans, or did they stay silent and kind of like laugh it off because it's true? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. If I'm being completely honest, I feel the one that has more behind it would probably be the ones with Zeppelin, just because Jimmy Page is known to be like massively obsessed with like occults, and I mean Aleister Crowley, number one. He fucking idolizes that man, or idolized that man.
Mm,
And
yeah.
Jimmy Page is just like a weird dude, insanely talented, obviously, but just like a weird dude. And so like, if there's any type of like weird satanic whatever the hell kind of stuff, anything out of, and if you said it's from a Zeppelin song, I'm gonna believe the hell out of you, just because I know Jimmy Page is just like
Yeah.
a weird, creepy dude.
Well, I wanted to go through just some very quick honorable mentions. Um,
Hmm.
there is a song called The Devil's Trill Sonata by Giuseppe Tartini.
Hmm.
And this legend was that Tartini supposedly dreamed that the devil played his violin sonata for him. And when he
Okay.
woke up, he tried to recreate this music, but could only manage to pale imitation. It's said that this song is so complex and otherworldly that it's cursed for violinists who attempt to master it. Then we have Enter Sandman by Metallica. So it's not thought to be particularly cursed, but this song is associated again with a lot of nightmares, sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Fans say that it has triggered intense dreams or night terrors when played before bed.
But probably listen to any Metallica song before you go to bed, and it's gonna be fucked up, dude. Like,
So there's a song called "The Banshee" by Henry Cowell,
mhm.
and it's an avant-garde piano piece designed to sound like a banshee's wail.
Mhm.
And people say that it causes extreme discomfort and unease, and it just makes them feel kind of very unsettled and like creepy.
Did that song?
The Banshee by Henry Cowell,
Henry
Cowell.
Henry Cowell. Are you sure it wasn't anything by Yoko Ono?
Mm. Oh Lord, that
Creepy,
woman.
unsettling.
Yeah, creepy and unsettling. Yeah, absolutely.
If you ever need a good laugh
Um,
at that woman's expense, you look up when they played. You see when
I know what you're
Lennon
gonna say.
and Chuck Berry. You just look at them like, because she just comes and she just starts look at Chuck Berry's face. He's like, this fucking bitch. It's, oh
I
god, it's some of the
know.
best. It's some of the best live performance. I think the only other live performance that rivals that, we've talked about it before, is um Prince's solo during whatever friggin' award show it was
Um,
that Prince came out
yeah,
and
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah,
whatever. Anyhow.
yeah. Just a couple more. We have
Mm-hmm.
Black Angel's Death Song by the Velvet Underground.
Mm-hmm.
So this was inspired by Lou Reed's experiences with the occult and his
Mm-hmm.
fascination with dark forces. It's considered cursed by fans because of its disturbing sounds and tone. We have Kimberly by the Eurythmics. It's said
Okay.
to have a hidden message that causes nightmares if you listen to it on certain days.
On certain
Um,
days.
yeah.
Just on certain days. Like if you listen to the third Wednesday of every month, you're fucked, bud. Any other Wednesday you're
Exactly.
fine, but not the third.
So another one that is by the Velvet Underground is Heroin, and it's tied to drug culture and stories of addiction-related deaths.
No,
We
the song literally
right.
named after one of the deadliest drugs known to man.
Drugs, yeah, imagine that. We have the Black Album by Prince, speaking of Prince.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this
I
was
knew this one.
pulled from the shelves shortly after its release because it was rumored to have dark hidden messages and meanings.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then a little bit more modern, we have Murder Song 54321 by Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a kind of a more modern example of a haunting song telling the story of a murder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then one last song that I want to mention, because I feel like we have to mention it because it's right now so ingrained in pop culture, and it's shaping up to be more of like we're watching an urban legend being formed, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the song "Tiptoe Through the Tulips" by Tiny
There it
Tim.
is. There it is.
So this
I was waiting
song,
for it.
yeah, this song was used again in horror film series such as Insidious, and it's just generally become synonymous with creepy and cursed. So, the question is that I have is, again, I feel like, with this song, we are watching an urban legend being formed because it's now so associated with the creepy and the occult. Um, in 20, 30, 50 years from now, is
Mm-hmm.
somebody going to be doing a podcast episode about cursed songs? and then they're going to talk about this song as if this was really a cursed song.
I mean, the chances of it happening are pretty low, but they ain't zero.
Right.
I definitely think I think it would be funny to see that one, because I really feel like, mainly just because no one knew what that song was. That song had a history and any of that one, but like that song, Tiny Tim himself, a lot of stuff had kind of, has been relatively lost to history, except for those couple of episodes of SpongeBob, actually, where they have a couple of Tiny Tim songs in it. I think I really think it was just whoever it was in Insidious, right?
Yeah, it was
Insidious.
Insidious. Yep.
I think the person who chose that song, who did the scoring and the music for that one, was just a genius when it came to how do you make something scary and terrifying even more? You add music to it. How do you make it even more when it's something really evil and dark and just spooky, supernatural, whatever it is? What do? You go the exact opposite. Something that's very lighthearted, something that is catchy, there's literally tiptoe through the tulips, right? It's about like literally
Yeah.
just like skipping through the fucking like meadows and also that kind of fun shit. Like the scene,
Frolicking.
it's all frolicking. Like it's one of the most like silliest kind of things and feelings. Where I almost can, I almost visualize like an Attack of the Clones. We're on Naboo, and there's that open field where Anakin goes to ride that thing, and they're rolling around like teenagers in the meadows. It's literally that, but like
Right.
it's a demon, like eating and killing and all sorts of horrible things. So if you want to make something absolutely terrifying, you take a really happy, cute song and something you just polar opposites to one another. So I think it was just done because someone wanted to just like capitalize on perfect placing of something. And I think it's just getting associated because everyone just thinks of that and thinks of that movie. And
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a black or white kind of movie. People either love it or they hated it. I thought it was a very well done movie and it was pretty fucking scary. So I think it's what it is that people just, oh man, it's like really scary and cursed and evil. And there's just that freaking, there's just that song. It just brings that thought. 1,000,000%. But I think it's what it is. I think people just associate it because of that movie. And so if I'm going to be honest, it's just one more, I put it the same way I associate Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World,
Mm-hmm.
with just like, kind of like irony, like sadness and despair. Like there's all the good, there is all the good things. There is a wonderful world, friends shaking hands saying howdy do. But then there's also, because whenever that song is used in movies, I think of two without batting an eye. The second one I think of is the movie, oddly enough, Madagascar, because they play that song when what you call it, when the zebra, the hippo, and the giraffe, they're in the wild of Madagascar, and they're
Yeah.
learning that like that the wild, it's kind of a silly connection to make right now, but honestly using that song in this way is fucking genius. So they're playing that song of What a Wonderful World, and the sky is blue, and there's people going by, and blah blah blah, that shit, right? But they're seeing the horrors of what the wild is like. There's a little bird that lands, there's a little bird that's almost getting stepped on. So they run and they save it and they put it in the water. Oh, it's saved. And it gets eaten by a fucking crocodile. And like,
Yeah.
just Darwinism, just survival of the fittest, just the wild. They see it. And there's all that. There's that despair, but there's that lovely song playing. But my brain immediately, whenever I hear that song, my brain immediately goes to the movie Good Morning Vietnam. Instantly, because he plays that song and it's just like it's like a feel good part of the movie, whatever. Blah, blah. Oh, we're playing this one for the guys out. I forgot what group this. He plays it, and then they just show. There's actually a lot of scenes there that's actual footage from Vietnam of like napalm airstrikes and like just the war in Vietnam. I don't need to go into details.
Yes.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about. But they're showing bits of like the war in Vietnam as they're playing that song. So maybe 20, 30, 40, whatever years, they're going to say that song could potentially be related to evil and despair and however it goes, or that it's really singing that, from an ironic standpoint, that, yeah, the world is wonderful. It's fucking evil and horrible, and there's nothing you can do about it. What a wonderful world. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yep.
I love spooky shit, man.
Yeah. I love spooky shit too. It's the best. It's the best, man. The best. So that does it for another episode of the Black Curtain Club. Thank you so much for listening. Sound off in the comments or drop us a line. What do you think? What do you think about haunted songs? And do you think there's any truth to Paul is dead? The best thing that you can do for us is tell your friends that you found a really cool podcast that you love listening to. Also, any kind of ratings that you can give us will help us out tremendously. So stay weird, stay wild, and join us for next week to see what we're going to be talking about. Bye. Say bye, Kyle.
Good night, Vietnam.